I've got some bad news. We're going to have to let you go as a client.
You are letting me go?
Yeah, we can't work with you anymore.
But I'm the client. If anyone's going to fire anyone, it's me firing you. You don't fire me. What the hell do you mean? You ungrateful little fuck.
Can't imagine why I wanted to fire that one.
I want to talk about a time when I let 15 of my clients go and I ended up making more money despite losing their regular monthly payments, and how you can do the same. Have you got a client that when they call, their name comes up and shivers run down your spine? Maybe they're tight with money, or maybe they call you at all hours. I remember one nightmare client who was a famous author who emailed me and called me on my wedding and honeymoon and had to be told by his wife to leave me alone. These types of clients drain your energy and focus, but worst of all, they trap you into thinking that they are your only option. Maybe you've only got 2 to 3 clients and they're all nightmares, but because they provide 100% of your revenue, you're terrified to leave them. And besides, aren't you supposed to be grateful for the work? Can you imagine how cocky or arrogant you'd have to be as a business owner to fire your clients? So how can we attract higher paying, higher value clients? Well, I'm gonna take you outside to my runner beans. If you grow anything in your garden like vegetables, none of this will be a surprise to you, but to me, this was an absolute revelation. Clients are cultivated relationships that are supposed to be beneficial to both parties. Growing vegetables is the same. They want to grow, suck up water and sunlight, and in return, they'll make tasty vegetables for me to eat. These are particularly good when fried in butter. But what I've learned about growing beans is that only 20% of the plant does any of the actual growing. So every day I need to check the health of the plant and remove anything that looks unwell, damaged, or covered in bugs. That is gross. But what that allows is for more of the energy to go into the healthy, thriving parts of the plant that are growing delicious vegetables. If I don't trim the plant and cut back what isn't growing, it can spread to the whole plant. If you check out this tomato plant here, this was something that had a withering disease that I didn't keep an eye on, and it spread to the whole plant, and now the plant is dead. I knew with my nightmare client that I had to fire them. The stress, the sleepless nights, and the verbal abuse, they just weren't worth the money. But what if I fire them and I don't find another client to cover the costs? The key here is to change what you're looking at. Rather than looking at the gap it might leave, let's try focusing on the progress that we've already made. If I just focus on what I'm cutting and pruning, it looks like I'm killing the plant and throwing away valuable growth. But instead, if I look at where I'm already growing vegetables, I can see where I'm better off spending my time and energy. Now, in my case, I went through my list and I broke them down into 2 lists: growers and slowers. Growers were the relationships and clients that I wanted to cultivate more. Now, in my case, out of 30 clients, I only had 7 that I wanted to really focus on. At first, this was pretty upsetting, but when I looked closer, these 7 clients were responsible for almost 80% of my revenue. I was so focused on my nightmare clients that I had no idea that I could fire them and the financial impact wouldn't be as massive as I thought. The slowers list was the list of clients that I thought were actively slowing my business down, and this was about 15 clients. Some of them paid well, by the way. Not to say that the revenue drop didn't hurt, because of course it did, and it was scary, but I knew it wasn't going to get better by itself, so I fired them. And within seconds of letting them go, I started to feel better. More focused, more energized, I felt a little bit more empowered, and even better than that, I could now spend more time with my other clients, the ones I wanted to grow. So after a few calls and emails to my grower clients, I actually booked new projects with them. I had given myself the capacity to cultivate more growth because my energy wasn't being wasted elsewhere. And what if I needed more leads? Well, that's simple. I had a killer lead generation system that I use still to this day, where I generated tens of thousands of leads, plus they paid me to join the email list. And I've got the exact process in this video here, so if you click that, I'll talk you through how I blew up my lead generation with one simple hack.